St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy.
D11sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. Hi and welcome, everyone. Al DeCarlo alongside Matt Evancho. Glad you could join us here. We expect an exciting game between two teams ranked in the top 10 in the state of Pennsylvania. Nothing better on a beautiful Saturday afternoon to get this one going.
Correct, and you usually don't see this type of game set up this early in the season. So to have this this setup and this atmosphere is going to be great for everyone out there.
Now we wait for these two teams to make their way onto the field. Obviously an exciting time. You have District 11 in North Schuylkill taking on the District 3 team in Wyomissing. And again, as we mentioned this a long time ago, as we are previewing these games, the fans are excited, as you can tell, but everyone across the state is excited to see what these two teams have.
I think you're right, and I think we're going to have a lot of people tune into this game to check out from District 3 those teams that may face Wyomissing later on in the playoffs to just see what they have and see a better picture of them, as well as North Schuylkill later on. As teams into District 11 look at them to see what are they made of and how are they going to go up against a quality opponent.
Now North Schuylkill, we mentioned a record of 2-0. Their head coach is Wally Hall in his 7th year with 18 yards, but also what he's done on the ground. When you have a quarterback that can be elusive like that, that helps out. It
does. And they're going to run, the North Schuylkill offense is going to run a little bit of a zone read to give him opportunities to read that uncovered down lineman, the one that they're not going to block. If he comes upfield, he'll hand it off. If he crashes down, he's going to pull it outside, and I think that's where he wants to put the ball in his quarterback's hands.
Well, for running back Max Hurlman, he's done a great job. 30 carries, 264 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Obviously, he's the real deal, and they're going to need him to produce today.
They do, and they need to rely on that Hurlman because of the loss of their starting quarterback earlier in the preseason. They have a backup quarterback in. He produced very well last week, but they need Hurlman to come out here and carry a bulk of the load for the offense.
We expect a great one. Both teams are on the field and, getting ready for the open kickoff. Brendan Alvino, who is a student reporter for us from Nazareth, is joining us on the sideline. We'll get his first report shortly. But an exciting time, as we mentioned, as we continue to do our games throughout the weeks, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, opportunity for us to, really kick it into high gear and as we get through to some more quality games coming up in the future.
It is. I think we've been treated to some very good games so far this season. This is going to be, I think, so far the top of them.
How about this? Treated well. We're outside today. Nice, beautiful, sunny day. Why do you want to be in the press box if you could be out here?
I told you I'd want to wear a tank top. This, sun's out, guns out. Let's go.
Well, your guns could be out. My guns aren't out at all. So we get ready for the opening kickoff in this one between Wyomissing, again, out of District 3. They are 2-0, and District 11, North Schuylkill, 2-0. Should be a great game. Again, 5 and 6, depending on where you're looking, in the rankings across the state of Pennsylvania. So we expect a great one. I'm glad you could join us here on D11sports.com. Your Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine, who's been a great partner of ours, an exciting time for us, but doesn't get much bigger than this. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this matchup here from Wyomissing, and a great view and a great venue for a game.
Absolutely. I think we're going to be treated well here today. Sun's out. Great time to have a football game.
Now let's pause and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Colleen Gehringer, everybody, give her a hand. By the way, a part of that.
Winning Spartan girls volleyball team. They beat Mifflin today 3-1. Great job, girls.
Hey guys, I'm down on the sideline and I got a chance to speak to both the Wyomissing and North Schuylkill coach. Now when I talked to Coach Bob Wolfstrom of Wyomissing, 2 words came up. The first was tradition. He says that he has probably one of the most experienced coaching staffs in this state, And that repetition and tradition is key to their winning streak. And the second word that came up was rushing. In their 2 games, they had over 500 rushing yards, and they will look to pound the rock even more today to get this win. Now, on the North Schuylkill side of the ball, Coach Hall was ecstatic about quarterback Jaden Leiby. He has over 300 rushing yards thanks to his ability to run the read option. Now, Coach also says he is a great leader, which propels North Schuylkill to their wins. Back up to you guys.
All right, Brendan, thanks a lot. Brendan Alvino again, a senior at Nazareth High School, joining us for the broadcast on the sidelines as part of our D11 Sports student internship program. And we get excited about this matchup here from Wyomissing. 2-0, 2-0, 5-6 in the state of Pennsylvania, going head-to-head here in a picture-perfect afternoon. And we are underway. Aiden Cerulli with the opening kickoff. And you see the defensive pressure right away. And the ball was loose as well.
Hit initially by number 55, senior Evan Busak.
And Wyomissing has the football. So there was a big hit there. And at the same time, right after the hit,
Busak made that tackle.
A fumble was recovered.
Credited with the tackle was number 55, Evan Busak, who came in on the kickoff coverage, wrapped him up and able to strip the ball out, and Wyomissing couldn't ask for a better start to this game than this. On the flip side, North Schuylkill couldn't have asked for a worse start, but we'll see how this defense in North Schuylkill settles in and just locks up and tries to keep them out of the end zone.
So you couldn't have pictured this anything better. Ball at the So 1st and goal from the 8. And they'll start things off on the ground. And interesting when you start things off the ground with Evan Nadrowski, 6'2", 230. He's wearing number 59, but boy, you know, with the absence of their quarterback, he's getting some good field in the backfield. He's enjoying it.
And as you know, as listed as a guard and a linebacker, he's been key to this Wyomissing offense the last couple of weeks on top of Hurlman, able to just keep the running game going. So don't also be surprised if Hurlman gets moved to fullback at some time as well.
Allman getting a throw. Looks towards the back of the end zone, and that an easy touchdown right into the hands of Jevin Tranquillo.
It was a real nice call by the Wyomissing offense. They know North Schuylkill is going to sell out for the run. They're going to try to stop the run all day long because of the fact that Wyo's tradition is to rush the ball. They run a play action to Nadrowski, and they find Tranquillo in the end zone for the touchdown. They actually had 2 receivers in that corner of the end zone wide open for the touchdown.
Out of Matthew Kramer's hold, Ian Brunner snaps it.
So 1 minute and 5 seconds into the contest, and already it's 7-0 in favor of Wyomissing.
Drive set up with the kickoff coverage, the fumble on the kickoff coverage, able to get in there tight in their own in North Schuylkill's territory. But on top of that, you have to credit Jordan Allman and the way he was able to be poised as a backup quarterback, able to stay poised, find his guys out in the open for the touchdown.
So a short touchdown, but nonetheless, when you can get anything going via your special teams, we always say, you know, offense, defense, special teams. That's what wins football games. You're Wyomissing right now, and your coach Wolfram, you're happy. You're 1 minute 5 in, up 7-0.
You have to be. I mean, usually special teams are kind of like they take a back seat to the offense and the defense. But here you see in a big game, I think that's where the difference is going to be. Which special teams can make more plays? Because I think that offense and defense for both of these teams are pretty well balanced.
Schuylkill will try to do this again, and that is fielded and picked up by Danny Grigas. And Grigas gets run out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. With that, we take a look at our keys to the game, beginning with North Schuylkill.
When you look at North Schuylkill, they want to create opportunities with special teams. Obviously, we just saw the fact that that didn't happen for them, but they can come back. It's still a long game to go. And they want to win the turnover margin. So both things kind of went against them, but we'll see if they can turn that around. For Wyomissing, can they control the tempo of the game? And then can they survive North Schuylkill's size and speed? Coach Wolfram said it. He just doesn't want his defense to get steamrolled.
with that, the ball starts at the 30-yard line and nowhere to go on the first carry of the game by Jake Green.
To punt for North Schuylkill. Wyomissing area sends Max Hurlman deep.
So drive stalled at the 48. Dylan Dietz gets a good one off and drives play there by Hurlman. And Hurlman gets driven out of bounds at the 44-yard line. They wanted a flag at the end of the play. They don't get it. So 8:04 on the clock, 7-0 your score. The ball at the 34-yard line.
You got a good look there at Wyomissing running a misdirection counterplay, pulling both the guard and tackle from the backside, leading Max Hurlman, and he did not get touched until about 10 yards downfield, and then the Wyo crowd was looking for a penalty out of bounds. North Schuylkill kid did dive at him, and very well could have been called for a personal foul.
So Hurlman plus 23. They go back to the ground.
Jason Gardner running out of a fullback spot.
And driving through for a couple is Jason Gartner. Glad you could join us here for our D11Sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine, Aldi Carlo, Matt Evancho, along with Brendan Alvino, Nazareth student reporter down on the field.
Have a little switch up at fullback for Wyomissing. Jason Gartner, who's a 145-pound junior. Little change up to Nadrosky, who's 230 pounds at fullback.
They'll use him down when they get towards the 4-yard line or so. Another handoff and some more positive yards. Kevin Tranquillo.
Coach Hall mentioned in the pregame the one thing that stood out to him about Wyomissing is their execution. They run the Delaware wing tee and they run it to perfection. Also asked Coach Wolfram, how have you adapted over the years, being in as a head coach 33 years? And his honest answer was, I don't really know if I have. I think he just said traditionally they run the wing tee and they expect the players to adapt to that.
Now, so much for the 5-yard line. Nadrowski is in there as a decoy, but doesn't matter there. Coming flying through the defense is Jake Green, 6'1", 280-pound senior. So did it on offense and now does it on the defensive end.
And with that wing tee and with the backup quarterback of Jordan Allman, Wyomissing does not want to be in these 2nd and long situations or 3rd and long. So getting that stop for North Schuylkill Green, that's a key play for them in this drive.
6:52 on the clock, 2nd down and 15. The ball sits at the 37, 7-0. Matt, I'm going to tell you something after this play that you'll be shocked. Just keep that in your mind for a second. 2nd down and 15 from the 37. I'm sure you're waiting for this one. Looking to pass is Allman, and he connects with Hurlman. Hurlman, positive yards. I'm going to predict right now that the Spartans are going to win this game.
That's a good bet. I think you might be right.
I guarantee. Oh, unless it's guaranteed.
There are no ties
There's
anymore.
No ties
there
anymore.
Are no ties.
There's one for Coach Wolfram.
26-yard line, 3rd down.
He's 303, 83-1, but no longer. Actually, this team went overtime as Nadrowski powers forward and tries to get the positive yards, and it's all on the spot here.
Devin Nadrowski carrying the football over left tackle. Dropped by Stephen
and will indeed move the chains. So I asked Coach about Nadrowski, and I said, does he like it? He goes, oh, he loves it. He loves it. And why wouldn't you love it if, he sets up in the backfield. I think he loves more that he's wearing 59s in the backfield.
I think you're right. And, it's every lineman's dream to carry the ball, and here he gets a key role in this offense. I mean, everybody talks about Max Hurlman. They talk about Tranquillo. But Nadrowski is a key player in this whole offense.
From the 21. And he'll dive forward for a couple. The difference is with Nadrowski, it's not like, you're a bigger lineman. You're not 265, you're not 280. You're 6'2", 230, so that's good size as well.
Exactly, and not to mention how athletic he is. He plays linebacker as well, as we stated, but he's a very athletic lineman, which you look at the Wyomissing offensive line, they're all athletic.
Ball sits at the 18-yard line.
Schuylkill gets the ball and gets their offense back on the field. You have to expect Leiby to become a bigger role in that offense. Try to get him running the ball, a little more misdirection. Let him do a little bit more. Let him do what he does.
Deep is number 8, Danny Grigas, along with 29, Josh Chwanski.
So we'll do it again from the 35. Mentioned North Schuylkill talked about special teams being a big key. See if something can happen here. On the kickoff by Aiden Cerulli. Cerulli with a kick, and that one actually was juggled and then picked up. And then knocked out of bounds on the big stick is Josh Chawanski.
Knocked out of bounds, number 11, Darren Brunner on the play.
So 14-0 your score at the 3:17 mark from Wyomissing Area High School.
Call at the 31-yard line.
This would be a key drive for the North Schuylkill offense. If they can do two things. One, they need to move down the field and get some points. But two, they need to do something to keep this Wyomissing offense off the field. So they need to chew up a lot of clock.
Start things off from the 31-yard line. And they will toss. And that one knocked away. Hurlman comes up with a big play.
Number 5, Max Hurlman on the play for Wyomissing area. Be second down.
They're getting in quick.
They are, and I think Hurlman, one of the game plan keys for Wyomissing defense is if they see Libby start to roll out, they're going to bring pressure from that defensive back, outside linebacker, to where he's rolling. That was Max Hurlman, who was able to get up in Libby's face and not give him a chance to make a pass.
From the 31, and on a quick handoff to Tyler Elsden, and Elsden breaks through. There's a flag on the play, but Elsden is going in for the touchdown from 69 yards, but we will wait.
At the 30-yard line. So holding infraction against North Schuylkill.
Coach Hall on the far sideline is not happy with that call from the officials, which no coach is ever happy with a holding call on a touchdown run. But he's easily excited over there about that being a call that should not have happened.
You know, that sparks you on the sidelines as the fans and the players. You get a huge touchdown, and all of a sudden it's brought back. And not only is it brought back, then you got to bring it back another 10 yards.
Exactly. But I think North Schuylkill, if you look at that, you have to say, well, wait a minute. We can do this. We can score against this team. We can have some confidence. And that was one other thing Coach Wolfram mentioned pregame about how Wyomissing hasn't always been the most talented team on this field over the history of his coaching career. But he said it was something about tradition and just about the belief that they're going to win and confidence that they're going to win that makes a difference in those games.
They toss this one back. Again, never fooled. Darren Bruner, who had a big game last week, comes up with another tackle.
You get a good look at how we talked about the fact that Wyomissing offensively is well coached and executes. Same thing takes place on defense. Well executing, and they're well coached.
And just like that, it's a 3rd down and 21 coming up from the 20. First time North Schuylkill has been tested. They've been cruising to their first 2 games. Here comes some pressure again off the back foot throw, and that's in traffic. Could be trouble, and it is. It hung up there a little too long, and the INT by Amory Thompson.
That was real good coverage by Wyomissing defensive back Amory Thompson, 5'10", 145-pound sophomore. There is a flag on the play, though, which may very well be where it's at. Looks like roughing the passer, possibly.
They just had that big holding call against North Schuylkill. And we'll wait on this call with 2:15 on the clock, a 14-0 game. And Matt, that's exactly what it is. We heard roughing the passer.
Then I think there's a second flag, which looks like sideline warning.
That was a roughing the passer.
So
penalty against Wyomissing
2:15 on the clock, 14-0 your score. And with that, we'll move the ball forward, so negate the interception.
Second penalty was a sideline interference penalty against North Schuylkill.
So 2 big penalties here on the drive. First negates a touchdown, then negates an interception. So kind of almost back where you were in the first place.
So the first penalty was against Wyomissing area. That was a roughing the passer. That was walked off first. Second penalty at the end of the play was against North Schuylkill. That moves the football back to the 20-yard line.
One was sidelines and dead ball.
And then we get the other penalty, Matt. Obviously, you've been around coaching a long time. When fans see the officials moving one way and then they see them moving back the other way, it gets them kind of frustrated because they're trying to figure out what's going on.
It does, and I think what's going to happen is typically that sideline is a warning first. But on the play with where it was thrown, I have to believe that the official running down the sideline ran into a coach who has to be back behind outside the box, which is about 3 yards off the sideline.
Yeah, I was covering the Palisades and Northwestern game last night, and they had issues. At the same time, again, you want to keep yourself in the box and within the 25. You have a long range, but some coaches like to move their way out of there, and you get a couple warnings.
Oh, absolutely. And as a coach, you continue to move more and more until you're told. You just keep going out further and further on the field. Looks like we're going to get one more correction here. It's going to end up being 1st and 10.
Well, lots of confusion here in this.
Okay, when the dust settles, it becomes a 1st down and 10. North Schuylkill.
So North Schuylkill will get things over at the 20-yard line. Back to action here, 14-0. And with all that, how about another flag? Matt, we're not getting used to these flags already here, are we?
No, I hope not. So hopefully both teams will settle down a little bit.
It's an offside penalty against Wyomissing area. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, be 1st down and 5.
So 1st and 5, and they'll try to get it on the ground. They will. And breaking through the tackle, almost breaking all the way through, was Chawanski. As Chawanski moves the chains for a 1st down.
And as we say it again, it was Max Hurlman with number 5 for Wyomissing, the defensive back, just getting enough of him to take him down.
From the 38. 1:51 on the clock.
And you have to credit Evan Nadrosky from his linebacker spot coming up and blowing up the lead blockers and causing a pile, giving Chawanski nowhere to run.
Spartan left side of the defense fighting Nadrosky on that play.
2nd down and 9 from the 39. And they'll go the other way, and faking everyone is Jaden Leiby, and Leiby is going to cruise his way in for the touchdown.
North Schuylkill touchdown, that's number 6.
So Jaden Leiby goes 61 yards for the score.
It was just a matter of time, as we said. Jaden Leiby had to become more of a part of this offense, and there was that zone read. They run the run play to the left. He pulls it by reading the opposite defensive end, takes it up the sideline, and that was one time we saw the Wyomissing defense not stay home and not stay disciplined.
Number 24, Mitchell Lavelle, to attempt the extra point.
Mitchell Lavelle with the extra point attempt here for North Schuylkill. And that one is up, and that one is through. And just like that, 1:18 left on the clock here from Wyomissing. It's 14-7. Wyomissing over North Schuylkill. Again, we know that there's so much left in this contest.
There is. And I think you look back at that drive, and I know you as a coach you can't go back, but the key I think for North Schuylkill was the fact of the roughing the passer penalty, because that was on a turnover where they were about to give the ball back to Wyomissing, who could have easily turned and gone up 21-0. So you see a 14-point swing with that penalty, and we'll see if North Schuylkill can now regroup and come out and play defense and get a stop.
So 118 remaining, 14-7. Glad you could join us here on D11sports.com. Game of the week. If you're just joining us here on our live stream, you missed 3 touchdowns right off the opening kickoff. The turnover led to a quick strike from Jordan Allman to Jevin Tranquillo, made it 7-0. And then a 5-yard touchdown run by Jordan Allman came at the 3:21 mark. And then you mentioned it, a 69-yard touchdown was denied because of a holding call when Tyler Elston went in. And then Wyomissing, Amory Thompson had an INT, but because of a couple penalties, things changed there, and it led to Jaden Leiby going in from 61 yards to make it 14-7.
32, Jake Green. Jevin Tranquillo, Max Hurlman are deep for Wyomissing area.
Jake Green has it on the tee at the 40. That one goes straight up, and it's fielded right around the 28-yard line and diving forward up towards the 35-yard line. It's Thomas Grabowski.
It looked like Grabowski was going to be stopped, but had some momentum going forward and drove his legs to get another extra 5 yards on that return. I think early on this is a key drive for both teams. Wyomissing needs to get the offense continue to go, but North Schuylkill obviously needs to get a stop.
On the ground they go. Taken there by Tranquillo.
Jevin Tranquillo wearing number 14, carrying the football.
Tranquillo gains a couple.
Tackled by Dylan Dietz.
You mentioned you try to get the feeling out period in the beginning. You have 2 teams coming in, but you really couldn't get that because of the opening kickoff, boom, it was right there, and then things took a swing. And if you're North Schuylkill and Wally Hall, you're just saying, you know what, settle in. There's a long way to go, and we've seen what they've done. They drove the ball to the 48-yard line, then they lost it on downs, and then they had some good runs. So there's space there, and I think they're just starting to get a feel of this game, almost like it's starting now.
Correct, and I think as you said, offensively they were able to do some things. It's going to be a key for them defensively to be able to come back and settle in.
All right, when I say that, they're going to move the chains with a first down on another carry here by Max Hurlman. So Hurlman came into the game with 30 carries for 264 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's added to that total so far, and likely the last play of quarter number 1, and they'll wind this one down.
First down, Wyomissing area football at
so they indeed move the chains.
35-yard line.
We talked earlier about how the misdirection, that time, hopefully you see this on film. You're able to see offensive tackle Rashard Williams, 6'4", 290 pounds, offensive lineman coming around, leading the way for Max Hurlman.
Well, 1 quarter complete here from Wyomissing. It's 14-7 in favor of Wyomissing. Right back after this.
Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
We got the Drifters, we got the Duprees, a tribute to Jackie Wilson.
We are back. 14-7 is your score. Al DiCarlo alongside Matt Evancho. Glad you could join us here on D11sports.com Game of the Week. I want to thank St. Luke Sports Medicine, of course, being the presenting sponsor, as they've done a great job each and every time with what we've done. And Matt, your thoughts first quarter?
I think it's exactly what we thought it would be. It's a clean football game. Both teams battling in the trenches, and that's where I think the game's going to be won. Which team can be more successful on the line of scrimmage? They both have athletes everywhere, but who can get the job done inside when it's needed the most?
So we get ready to start quarter number 2. Sun is in, sun is out, but boy, the breeze feels great. Nice to be outside. And on the ground they go. That ball looked like it was bounced out. Looked like it popped up. It was carried by Jevin Tranquillo.
That time North Schuylkill defense plays that misdirection very well as they faked the Nadrowski coming one way and then bring Tranquillo back the other way. It was the middle of that defense, staying home, staying disciplined, making the play.
Just underway, quarter number 2. Wally Hall in his 7th year, 53-20. Bob Wolfren in his 33rd year as the head coach. And he had a bunch of years as the assistant, so he's been here a long time. From the 45, Looking to throw and is not. That's Jordan Allman, run all the way. He gets taken down to the ground right around the 48-yard line.
Safety spot, Dylan Dietz is the one who comes up, 5'10", 175-pound junior, number 19. As he sees Allman on that, one thing you're going to see with the officiating crew, they're here. They don't have, like in the NFL, that middle guy in the back. That's the guy who typically would have seen that and would have called that. The other two on the corners deep don't necessarily see that because that's not their job to look for it.
With that, the ball at the 18-yard line. Allman under center. And fakes it one way, goes up forward on the carry by Gartner. Nothing there.
Get a good look at Robbie Wheats, number 70, Schuylkill, 5'11", 330 pounds, playing a lot for this North Schuylkill defense.
Green on the tackle, no gain, second down.
Inside 9 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. Second down 10 from the 18-yard line. Allman with a long count, and they'll give it to Hurlman. Hurlman busts to the outside, and we'll get down to about the 11.5-yard line.
Run out of bounds by Zach Chewowski.
You get a good look at how this execution for the Wyomissing offense works. Just it's the timing. It's not necessarily the play calling. It's just the way they're able to run some misdirection, but then the timing of getting guys, especially the offensive linemen, where they need to be with the angles they need to be for their blocks.
So we'll call that the 11 and say it's third down and a long 3.
Third down and 3. Nadrowski gets in there, and Nadrowski will get the carry and will get the first down.
To play them at home, this may be their one and only Saturday afternoon game, so their teams are really thrown off their routines, and that's a big advantage for Wyomissing.
Here's the boot, fielded at the 10. Up to the 20-yard line, and has some space on the far side is Josh Chewowski.
Josh Chewowski on the return. Wyomissing area tacklers. 55, Evan Busak. Number 1, Xavier Edelmajou. North Schuylkill will start first down.
So a 10-point lead.
29-yard line.
It becomes a big drive here for North Schuylkill.
I mean, you hit the point there, Al, that depending on what happens on this drive, for either team, I think could go a long way in this. Who wins this game? North Schuylkill needs this drive to get some points. Wyomissing needs a stop to extend their lead.
Quarterback Leiby up the middle, wrapped up.
Firing through is Leiby for a couple.
Braden Eberhardt.
And if you're watching us here on a Saturday afternoon,
Stephen Alexi.
had some glitches here and there, part of the live stream, and glad that you rejoined us for a huge matchup between these two teams. The Battle of the Spartans right now going in favor of Wyomissing by a score of 17-7. So second down and 6 from a 33. Leiby will toss back, and nowhere to go is Dylan Dietz. A couple guys in there.
And the initial hit coming from number 5, Max Hurlman, doing everything on the offensive side, coming back over here on the defensive side, and also a solid player on defense for them as well. Unfortunately, we have one Wyomissing player down on the ground right now.
So you mentioned player down. Good that he's back up on his feet. That was Braden Eberhardt. He recovered the opening kickoff for a fumble that ended up leading to a touchdown.
And he's one of the linebackers who's tasked with trying to keep contain on Jaden Leiby in the North Schuylkill offense.
So as he makes his way to the sidelines, clock is at 5:47 and counting here in quarter number 2.
That result of that last play play was a 2-yard loss. Presents North Schuylkill with a 3rd down and 8.
Looking to throw, and he connects. And moving the chains is Jesse White.
So North Schuylkill 1st down. White.
It was an easy read for Libby on that play. They have the receiver on the outside running a hitch route, and then the tight end running a 10-yard out right behind him, and just reading the corner to see who he covers.
Libby trying to turn upfield, but nowhere to go. A couple guys in there, including Thomas Grabowski.
Sophomore linebacker Tommy
And one of the things you won't see on that play is, again, I mentioned Max Hurlman, who stayed disciplined, stayed outside, made Libby cut up inside to where all his teammates were coming from.
Going to be a 3rd down. Interesting part of the field here, depending on what happens here on this down, if you decide to go for it or not.
Correct, and for North Schuylkill, this puts you at 3rd and 4, gives you a lot of options with what you can do offensively.
Ball right at midfield inside the 5-minute mark. And it's taken there by Jake Green, and Green gets a 1st down and gets a few more after that.
It looked like a Wyomissing player just went to the ground after the play.
Again, a good thing is that Brunner is up on his feet and walking back to the sidelines.
Injured Spartans number 11, Darren Brunner. Spartan fans, the Wyomissing Youth Football Association is one of 12 members of the Berks Interclassic Youth Football League. Next
Tighten up and see if they can make a play to get this defense off the field.
Come out on Sunday and support the Wyomissing Youth Football Association. Watch your future Spartans in action.
So 2nd down. Might be going to throw, and that one is incomplete. It's Feitner again. And Schuylkill is asking for a pass interference, but Feitner got in there at the last second.
For number 40, Tyler Elsden.
The front 4 of Wyomissing is getting a lot of pressure on Libby. The offensive line of North Schuylkill, Elsden on the blitz, able to pick up Allman in the backfield. He was looking to roll to his left and look like a key or a called run play for them. He was just going to roll to the left and then find his seam and just cut up field.
Timeout North Schuylkill.
Yeah, and you know, first things we talked about in the beginning of the game was special teams in North Schuylkill and, you know, Wally Hall, and see if you can have that. You know, you get the ball back here, and, you know, if you get a run back, but there's only 17 seconds, so it would have to be a big run back and then one play. Again, easier said than done, but you have the timeouts, and why not use them?
Correct. I mean, you might as well take a chance. You can't do anything with them in the second half. They don't come with you. You might as well give Libby a chance to do something. And you never know. Maybe the North Schuylkill punt return team able to get a rush on, maybe get a block to set them up on a short field.
.17 seconds remaining in the first half. Aiden Cerulli into punt. Josh Stankiewicz is deep.
So Cerulli to punt things away. Waiting in the wings is Josh Stankiewicz.
Get on it, get on it. Good.
Cerulli's punt is down at the
So 7 seconds.
yard line.
Unless you got a little trick play, you may just take a knee and just go in the locker room, Matt. What do you think?
I would say with 7 seconds, and with how this half is going, I think getting out of this half just down 10 for North Schuylkill has to be something they're okay with. They can go in and regroup. They've had some success defensively against the Wyomissing offense. They've had some success offensively, just not able to finish things. I think we're going to see the North Schuylkill team offense come out and take a knee right now.
Wow, he's going to stay up there.
But as we say that, the North Schuylkill offense huddling on the sideline, taking a long time talking about this.
A little razzle-dazzle, I don't know.
Unless they hurry up, they're going to get hit with a delay of game penalty.
Yeah, there's 6 seconds.
Which I think will clearly decide what they're going to do.
They're not going to get this off. Hey, if they got it off, they just barely got it off. And they go on the ground, powering through. Still on his feet is Chawanski. and that ends the first half of play. So 17-7, your half in favor of Wyomissing as we take a break in the action here. 17-7 your score. Back after this.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Are you searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts, you'll become a member of a supportive fitness community. We call it Extraordinary Fitness. Visit us online to start your free 7-day membership and let us help you thrive.
Hall of Fame pitcher Steve Carlton knows what it takes to exceed expectations. He knows what it means to be part of a team that rises above the competition. He knows a champion. Steve Carlton knows St. Luke's Orthopedic Care.
So you're hurting. Is it your back or your knee? That old football injury? Get the rehabilitation you need. In most cases, you won't need a script from your doctor. In Pennsylvania and New Jersey, a law called Direct Access lets you see a physical therapist without a prescription. And if your insurance requires a prescription, physical therapy at St. Luke's will work with your doctor to get you the care you need that is covered. Let us speed up your recovery. We're in your neighborhood. Call Physical Therapy at St. Luke's.
Hey guys, I'm back on the at halftime, and there's some things I noticed. The first thing I noticed is some sloppy mistakes and penalties on both sides of the ball. It's been pretty clean, however, there have been penalties on both sides. For example, the huge touchdown run from North Schuylkill that got called back, plus an interception that got called back for Wyomissing. And if there were no penalties on those two plays, those are two huge game changers that could possibly affect the score right now. And here we have Dave Micah with D11sports.com. And do you have any comments about the game?
Yeah, I mean, opening kickoff, they get the turnover, they capitalize on the touchdown. First 3 drives, they had 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. The only drive they didn't score was their last drive. But in the second half, they will get the opening kickoff. So Wyomissing, I'll tell you what, they look really good, really quick to the ball.
Yeah, and I think one of the keys to Wyomissing's success in this game is keeping the North Schuylkill quarterback in the pocket. I mean, you saw some errant throws. He threw an interception late in the first half and threw another interception, but that one got called back. So if Wyomissing keeps containing him inside the pocket, he's going to keep making those bad throws, and we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, and one of the things that I saw on North Schuylkill's side is when they finally got things going, their line was able to move the ball. They got some good running attack and got some good long runs. They had the touchdown called back earlier in, I think, the second quarter. But, you know, they are in the game. But I'll tell you what, the next touchdown is going to be big on who might win this game.
Yeah, Wyomissing has the lead so far, but there's a lot of game left to play, and we'll see how it pans out. Back to you guys.
All right, Brendan, thanks a lot. Matt, obviously, we're at the half, and those guys, talked about it a little bit. And, again, those hanging at home, and we've had some wireless problems or some Wi-Fi problems, and we hope we get you back here for the second half, because it's going to be an interesting, second half of football without question when we get back to action. But, Matt, when you look at it, it's been an interesting first half. And, if you're North Schuylkill, you dig yourself a hole real quick. But at the same time, you mentioned it before, you're down by the score of 17-7. It's not like it's 24-7, and you're a very good football team at the same time. So you go back in that locker room, and you're Coach Hall, you're saying, hey, it's 0-0. We're starting off, and we're getting things going here. Take us into the locker room for both teams.
Exactly. I think Coach Hall has to sit there and look at and basically preach to his team. We made a ton of mistakes in that first half, penalty-wise, turnovers, things that are not characteristic of his team. And you have to credit Wyomissing for some of that, but he has to sit there and talk to them about those mistakes and how they can fix them. And if they do fix them, they can come out in the second half and make some things happen. They've had some success on defense. They've had some success offensively, but they need to finish drives offensively. As for Coach Wolfram and the Wyomissing Spartans, he has to look at this and say, we've been doing basically what we want to do. We've had success in everything we want to do offensively, couple stalled drives. Defensively, they're all over the place. They just need to continue to build on that and just continue to work their game plan, chew up the clock, not let that North Schuylkill offense get on the field. And I think if they can do that, they come out of here with a win today.
You look at Wyomissing and you look at, Max Hurlman and what he brings to the table. Obviously, he could be that elusive runner. He is that guy that they have there. And it's interesting when you bring him on board, that one quick cut can lead to a touchdown. You're North Schuylkill, you have to be extra cautious about him.
You do. And I think, the one thing about Max Hurlman that I really liked in that first half is what he did on defense. Don't take away anything he did on offense. He does that. He's very successful, elusive. But defensively, he's all over the place. He's making tackles left and right, and he's not letting anybody from North Schuylkill get any kind of space where they can make something happen for their offense.
When I look at this game and, you get down here, you get all the hype, teams in the top 10 in the state and everything, and they're going to clash. And both coaches are talking about this team has this much and this other team has this much, But they're giving credit to their same team at the same time for their team. When you look at it and you get here to the second half, this is where it's going to be won right now in the second half. You don't play 2 quarters of football, you play 4, and it's a team that's going to play, the rest of the 2 is going to come out with a victory here.
It does, and you and I usually talk a lot about momentum and about like those kinds of things. Where has the tide turned? And I think both teams going in the locker room, you couldn't really say any team had the momentum other than on the scoreboard. Each one went in just very calm, very poised. And I think that's what you see out of well-coached teams and well-disciplined teams. So it's going to be which team can come out in the second half and get that excitement right away, get it from the first kickoff, and build on that through the next 24 minutes.
That was our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports. To get this game in, 3 weeks into the season, to really set the tone for what you can expect, because this may be the best team you possibly play the entire year before you get to the postseason.
And I think both teams will look at that. North Schuylkill, they're playing up in the north. They'll look at how we can use this to build on what we're doing the rest of the season, because as you said, they might not see a team.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games, take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts. Searching for a place where you belong? Where your fitness matters? Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a professional team that will help you meet or exceed your fitness goals. With locations throughout the region and nationally recognized fitness experts,
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
We are back here as we get ready to start quarter number 3. Out to Carlo Evancho from Wyomissing High School, home of the Spartans. And Wyomissing leads by a score of 17-7 as we get you ready for the second half of action. Opening kickoff was fumbled. Braden Eberhardt recovered. Jevin Tranquillo from Jordan Allman made it 7-0. That was at the 10:55 mark. So a minute 5 seconds into the contest, it was already a 7-0 game. Then at the 3:21 mark, a 5-yard touchdown run by Jordan Allman made it 14-0. A 69-yard touchdown run by Tyler Elsden was called back because of a holding. And then Amory Thompson had an interception, but the penalty called that back. So the drive actually stayed where it was, and that led to North Schuylkill scoring with 1:18 on the clock in the first quarter. Quarterback Jaden Leiby goes 61 yards for the touchdown on the run to make it 14-7. As we got into the second quarter, a 20-yard field goal made it 17-7 by Aiden Cerulli. That came at the 6:48 mark. And then Darren Bruner came up with an INT from Jake Leiby at the 22, stalling a Northern Schuylkill drive at the 3:29 mark. That all said, we get ready to take on half number 2. And with that, we heard from, Dave Micah on the sidelines, his first half thoughts as well. But Wyomissing gets a football back in the second half, and that's key here as well.
It is, and we'll look to see which team can come out and kind of make a play early on in this half to set the tone for the rest of the game.
And flying through is Tranquillo, but there is a flag to start things off.
35-yard line, a penalty flag comes in.
And it looks like we're either going to get a holding or a block in the back versus Wyomissing.
It's a holding penalty against Wyomissing area.
Well, the officials have been busy this afternoon
10
now.
yards for point of infraction.
When you have these two teams that are well coached and top-notch teams, you usually don't see a whole lot of penalties taking place. But in this game we have, and I know neither coach will be happy about that after the game.
With that and the penalty, starting things off at the 21. We are underway here in the second half. 17-7 is your score. North Schuylkill. What'd you say, Matt? Did you say penalties? I don't know if you mentioned that because we're 6 seconds in.
And as I looked at my notes for the first half, when you were going to ask me, what are my thoughts of that, and I didn't get to that, but penalties was a key problem with both teams. They stalled drives, but then they also extended drives for the other team. So that's going to be something each coach had to speak about at halftime that they need to address and need to take care of.
Yeah, without question. Now they'll move it 5 yards up to about the 26-yard line. Hurlman. And Hurlman will be about 1.5 yards shy of that first down marker.
Hurlman on the carry. He goes.
And unfortunately, I think we might have another flag, and we do.
Wow.
3 straight plays, 3 straight flags in this second half.
So you gain 5, and now you lose 10. They'll go from a 1st and 5 to
possibly a 1st and maybe 12.
Penalty pushes the football back inside the Wyomissing area, 20 to the 19.
Wow, 12 seconds in, 3 penalties. All right, we'll get back to action here again from the 19. Diving forward is Tranquillo, but not much there. He gets across maybe the 20 for a very short pickup.
And that time the North Schuylkill defense reading that counter very well, and the linebackers fitting in. But you credit 33 Jesse White from his defensive end spot. He took on the lead block of Nadrowski and able to solidify the edge and allow his linebackers to cut up underneath to make the tackle.
Second down, looking to throw, and that one is well off the mark. Intended receiver was Darren Bruner, not even close.
And that's about the only bad play we've seen out of Jordan Allman today. Otherwise, he's had a successful half and a successful game so far, but now you're at 3rd and 10, 3rd and long. This is not where the Wyomissing offense wants to be, but if you're North Schuylkill, you have to be ready for everything and anything that could happen right now.
So the ball sits right around the 20-yard line. 3rd down 10. Just underway here in the second half. Hurlman. And great job defensively. Number of players in there for North Schuylkill, including Jaden Leiby.
And that was the start for North Schuylkill that they needed to set up this offense possibly on a short field or at least half the field and allow Jaden Leiby something that he can do and get after him.
Well, we mentioned going into the half. You're North Schuylkill. You're just starting the second half, as fresh as you can and see what you get. And here you can get great field position. Actually, I think he's further back than he should be. Well, actually, no, he's not. And the call for a fair catch was Josh Stankiewicz. Again, you go in the locker room, you talk to your team. Both teams do that, and you kind of regroup. You mentioned the momentum, and Not sure who had that momentum really going into the locker room, but you look at the scoreboard, it's a 10-point game.
It is, and it's still a tight game for either team. You know, we saw the big play capability. Any team could get something going right away. But as you look at this here now, again, I mentioned how they both went into the locker room very calm, very poised. Both teams came out in the same way. Nothing excited, nothing overexcited. They're just coming out and ready to take care of business.
I think things are going to likely to change in some of these play calling here. I think they're going to put something in the books. And right off the bat, they go on the ground and breaking through and has some spaces. Leiby has some space on the far side inside the 40. Has a blocker in front. Hurlman to beat. And now we'll coast out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. So a huge pickup.
And we just mentioned about how each team has that big play capability. That time you saw it in Jaden Leiby on the big run. It was just a fake jet sweep to the receiver going in motion. Leiby had two blockers in front of him, picks and weaves his way through some traffic for a nice gain.
Yeah, about a 55-yard pickup. The ball at the 13, and they go to the ground again. And a great job defensively by Ian Bruner.
We talked about Darren Bruner earlier, but that time Ian Bruner from his defensive tackle spot getting a lot of penetration and taking him down in the backfield.
It's a loss of a couple. Second down and 12.
You know, Al, one thing we didn't talk about to each coach was just about their kicker and where they feel comfortable with a field goal range, because this very well could come down to a field goal.
Again, coming in, that's Grabowski that comes up.
And Grabowski's in at that linebacker spot, filling in for number 25, Braden Eberhardt, who left in the first half with an injury. Their Wyomissing will hope to get him back sooner rather than later.
I actually talked to North Schuylkill about his kicker and Mitchell Lavelle, and he was talking in the 40 range. He hit one in practice the other day. So, again, we always say you have a kicker that can do something, that really does help. So we'll see what happens here. Third down and 16 from the 19. Leiby cuts up field. Oh, Nadrowski just absolutely pummels him to the ground. Get some help from Grabowski.
So after that big play by Leiby, the Wyomissing defense has tightened up and hasn't given North Schuylkill any room to do anything. And I think right now, you know, at 40-yard field goal, I think you're outside of your range with this, because the wind would be coming in his face if they would line up for a field goal. I think they do have to go for it here, but you almost need to score a touchdown to get a first down. You have to get inside the 3.
So fourth down and 19, the ball at the 22. And going to try to take it himself and pushes forward. Down to about the 15-yard line.
And I think for North Schuylkill, you're probably looking at that as a safe call. You know, you kept the ball in Leiby's hands, you got some yardage, and you have Wyomissing backed up in their own territory, deep in their own territory at the 15.
Takes over first down and 10.
So the drive stalled, but a good drive. So far, if you look at it, Matt, you mentioned it before, there's been some big runs in this game, so there is space here for North Schuylkill. I think this, you know, defensively, you know, let's see what Wyomissing does here on this drive. They'll start things off from the 15-yard line. Tranquillo takes the handoff, and another flag comes in.
And I think this one's going to go against North Schuylkill. Possible hands to the face by the defense.
It was deeps on the tackle. I see a penalty flag down.
Stoppage comes with 8:23 on the clock.
It's a personal foul penalty against North Schuylkill.
You mentioned penalties before. The last thing you want to do is give up a penalty. You have them right at the 10, 15-yard line. Now all of a sudden you can add 15-yard penalty, move the ball up.
And I think what happened there is the officials caught number 33 for North Schuylkill, Jesse White, who's 6'3", going against number 55 for Wyomissing, Evan Busak, who's 5'10". You know, that height difference, he's trying to get his hands in on the chest, and the hand just slipped up underneath the chin, underneath the face mask of the offensive player.
Now the ball sits at the 32-yard line as we approach the 8-minute mark. Tranquillo will take it in the backfield. and then he gets popped. Maybe gets back to the original line of scrimmage. First guy in was Dylan Dietz.
And as you said, he eludes the tackle in the backfield of Jesse White, who had penetration and had him in the backfield. So this North Schuylkill defense is having some success, other than the penalties, having some success this half against this Wyomissing offense.
Second down and 9, the ball at the 33. Looking to throw, and now he's going to put that up in the air. It could be dangerous there. Gets knocked away, and it's intercepted. It got batted away, and Jake Hall comes up with the INT. Hall from the 48-yard line will go to the far side and get down to about the 35. So Jake Hall, a little pinball action with a big interception.
And that play for Wyomissing looked like there was confusion from the get-go with alignment, where they were going to set up. There was confusion in the backfield after the snap. And I think that's where we see Allman making his first mistake of the game, just where he had the opportunity to just throw that ball away, come back and live another down. Credit North Schuylkill, though, making a good play. Ian Bruner very nearly came up with that reception. But number 5 for North Schuylkill, Jake Hall, knocking it back, and then another teammate catching it, getting the interception, setting up North Schuylkill with a very good opportunity for a scoring play.
I think the coach will be a little happy, or knowing that his son that made the big INT give a spark to his team. Let's see if it happens. From the 34, 7:13 on the clock, third quarter, 17-7. Is your score. Libby not afraid to just power forward and gain those 3 yards.
And you credit Wyomissing, number 22, Thomas Grabowski, another tackle from his linebacker spot, playing disciplined in the middle of that Wyomissing defense.
Second down.
From the 32. And they fumble as they pick it up, and a good job there of Chawanski to fall on it.
Dropped on it.
And that exchange is about 7 yards back of the backfield on the exchange.
And again, just like we saw the Wyomissing offense previously with the confusion in the backfield, didn't look like North Schuylkill was on the same page between Libby and Chawanski in the backfield on that play.
So we approach the 6-minute mark of this battle between two heavyweights in the state of Pennsylvania. And that one is thrown away. How about the pressure coming here by Wyomissing? A couple guys in there, including Ian Bruner.
Wyomissing trying to set up a screen pass to Jesse White, number 33, the tight end. And Libby really had no room to do anything. He had a lot of Wyomissing defenders in his face. He had to throw it away. Very close to being lateral as he was thrown that nearly backwards. But luckily it gets out of bounds, but they call it incomplete forward pass.
So the ball at the 39. They'll punt the ball away. Right inside 6 minutes. And Hurlman won't get that one as the ball bounces back. And they'll get things started right around the 16, 17-yard line. Glad you could join us here on D11Sports.com. Our D11Sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. I want to thank them each and every time for what they have done for us at D11 Sports and our program we have with the students as we continue to bring in students, get them on the sidelines. Friday Night Football had 7 games being covered by our student reporters.
Jason!
And a couple of those reporters were at the same game as well. So good opportunity to get them out there and, you know, enjoy the sights and sounds and do some reporting and, you know, get in the field of the microphone and doing what they have a passion to do. We appreciate we could do that with our student internship program. 5:50 on the clock.
Jason Gardner carrying the football around the line of scrimmage.
When we look at this game, we knew it was going to be two heavyweights going at it. And I think the casual fan, they're looking for a lot of points to be scored offensively. But you have to credit both of these defenses and what they've been able to do versus high-powered offenses that you're normally scoring over 30 points on average a game. You know, each one of them, these defenses just holding their line and just continuing to play disciplined assignment football.
From the 16, another flag. Hurlman took the handoff. Well, we don't have the count on the flags, but Matt, when you start 3 in the first 6 seconds of the second half, they have definitely piled up.
Wyomissing area. It's a 5-yarder. It'll be 2nd down 15.
Not seeing any kind of reaction from Coach Wolfram on the sideline as any kind of displeasure to these penalties versus his team, but you know he's not happy at all about this.
So from the 11. There's some movement, I thought, again. And then the ball gets loose. North Schuylkill saying they have the football, but we'll wait for the official word. Sometimes you look at that pile and it's always, oh, North Schuylkill has the football.
A fumble on the exchange recovered by North Schuylkill. It's inside the Spartan, it's inside the Wyomissing area 10.
I'm not sure who came out of that pile with it. And Jesse White was in there. There's a couple guys in there. And that is a huge turnover. So a great job there by North Schuylkill. And just like that, they got themselves 1st and goal with 4:44 on the clock.
And I think this is where we start to see the Wyomissing offense being led by a new quarterback with some tight plays, some adversity. See if they can come back and just regroup and get going. But North Schuylkill, as you said, the defense setting them up time after time in this half so far.
Leiby has Chawanski in front as a blocker. And he gets down right around the 5-6 yard line.
Quarterback sweep right.
And honestly, I don't know if we'll see anything other than Jaden Leiby running the ball with a full house backfield leading him the way. Just keep the ball in his hands, make safe plays, and just let him score the touchdown.
Went out of bounds. It looks like the 6. So that'll be a gain of 3. It's 2nd and goal from the 6.
So at 4:39, 17-7 is your score, but knocking on the door right now is North Schuylkill.
North Schuylkill offense is going to have to get moving here with 5 seconds left on the play clock.
And they will get it off, and they'll go to Chawanski. Chawanski will dive forward inside the 5, down to about the 4-yard line.
He's tackled by Darren.
Again, you're at the 40-second clock, and you watch it, and you know, they put it down right away, and it's reset already. Remember, as quick as they put it down, that's when they reset it for 40.
If you're North Schuylkill, you obviously want the touchdown on this drive, but
I was going to ask
you can't ignore the fact that a field goal is a win for them.
Yep.
Points is a win for at any point in time this half.
I think it depends where this play goes here. 3rd and goal from the 4. Leiby gets a block by Chawanski, and Leiby will go in for the touchdown, 4 yards. Jaden Leiby, who had a 55-yard run earlier to the 13-yard line, and the drive was stalled, scores here from 4 yards.
And credit what we talked about with before the game, Brendan Alvino, our student reporter down the sideline, asking the coach, about Leiby and his running ability. You get a good look at it right there about how they're going to rely on him to run the ball. The offense for North Schuylkill runs through his hands. It has to, and I think the rest of this game, it's going to have to continue.
Big extra point here by Lavelle. That one almost got blocked, but Lavelle will squeak that one through to make it 17-14 with 3:57 on the clock. A 3-point game.
And this game's living up to everything we expected it to be, other than a lot of points and possibly the number of penalties we've had. Everything else for this game has been spot on with great play offensively, defensively, big plays, big players making big plays and causing big plays.
So 2 drives there for North Schuylkill in this quarter where they've moved the ball aggressively down the field, and they do finally come away with those points. And again, you can see the far sideline. It sparks them a little bit. Now if you're Wyomissing, you got to regroup and say, all right, let's get back to action and do our thing. But the last 2 drives by Wyomissing have kind of stalled on their plate. So we'll see what happens here.
We talked about I mentioned about how each team was kind of just calm and poised, but as you stated, after that touchdown, that run by Leiby, actually previous to that, the turnover, that North Schuylkill sideline erupted with excitement, and they're playing with a lot of momentum right now.
Dogs, Chick-fil-A, walking tacos, nachos, and did I mention Chick-fil-A? Go get them. Jake Green to kick off, Tranquillo, and hurl it deep.
That one fielded at the 35-yard line. And spinning through traffic is Grabowski.
Wrapped up by Cody Shell. Wyomissing area will start first down and 10 football at their 36-yard line.
North Schuylkill electing to not kick deep to Hurlman or Tranquillo, but giving up some good field position to the Wyomissing offense.
3:48 remaining in the third quarter. First and 10 Wyomissing area.
On the ground is
Gardner.
Gardner.
It was tackled by Jake Green, and he was hobbled before that play even started, and after the play stayed down. Looked like he was grabbing his right leg. Able to get up and get off the field. Looks like a right ankle or right hamstring maybe.
You know, you like when they get up and they start walking, but you can still feel he's getting effects. But it looks like hopefully he's just a kink and he gets it right back.
Yeah, something happened on the kickoff coverage when after he kicked the ball, he was down there on the tackle. He was hobbling around before this past play. But credit him, he was able to fight off his offensive block and get the tackle on that play as well.
Hurlman gets tripped up. Good job by Elsden.
Max Hurlman on the pitch. He's upended by Tyler Elsden.
When you credit Tyler Elsden, you know, as you mentioned, Penn State recruit, planning on going there next year. As you come into the game, if you're a Division I recruit like that, you know every team and every player is gunning for you. You need to come out and be your best every single play. And, you know, you sometimes don't see them make a ton of plays because everybody's so focused on him. But credit him to able to come out and make plays here and there for his team.
This is a huge play right here. Hurlman gets it. Hurlman will get the first down. Hurlman across midfield. A little seam still on his feet trying to make the turn inside. And he gets down to the 40-yard line. Max Hurlman cuts on the dime.
And Wyomissing's offense needed Max Hurlman and needed that play to come up to get them a little bit more positivity coming on there and to ignite this crowd to back them and get it back into this game.
The clock's winding down inside 3 minutes here in the third quarter. A 17-14 contest in favor of Wyomissing. Nadrowski back in the backfield for the Spartans, and he will get the carry. Bounce off a couple defenders, gain a few inside the 40 down to about the 39, 38-yard line.
And it's nice seeing Nadrowski holding onto that ball and protecting that ball through traffic as he's gaining those yards.
Second down 8.
Looking to throw. Now tucking and going is Allman. And Allman gets taken down.
And you can see what they're trying to do. Clearly, they're coming through, and they're just putting 3-4 blockers out in front of him. And Allman comes off the field on this play, and looks like we're going to have a backup quarterback coming in for Wyomissing. Number 8, Matthew Kramer, a 5'10", 160 freshman.
31-yard line. Be third down and a yard.
You expect handoff here with your freshman coming in, Kramer. But then again, We shall see. It's 3rd down and 1, crucial play. And Nadrowski will push forward and get the first down inside the 30 down to about 28-yard line. You know, Matt, we talked in the beginning of the game, you know, about some players, and, you know, we see them now. You know, Jaden Libby for North Schuylkill, and for Wyomissing, Max Hurlman. 2 guys that we're, you know, highlighted in the open, 2 guys that are showing why.
Exactly, and Jaden Libby, his team is built around him. Offensively, it's built around him, but we also called his name on defense as well. And you're seeing what he's able to do, mainly rushing the ball. But then also for Wyomissing, Max Hurlman taking on a bigger role now that they have a backup quarterback in Jordan Allman, but now also in Matt Kramer. He takes on a large role as well and has to for his team to be successful.
So Allman comes back into the contest. And they will not have to run a play. So a good sign, you know, obviously back. So the only touchdown after a turnover and interception was Jaden Libby. He went in from 4 yards. That came at the 3:57 mark. And we go to the 4th quarter again. 2 teams in the state of Pennsylvania ranked, you know, 5-6 inside of the top 10. It's 17-14 in favor of Wyomissing. We'll come back with our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
We are back. 4th quarter. Aldi Carlo, Matt Evancho. Glad you guys can join us here on our D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. A great opportunity for us to bring you 2 of the top teams in the state of Pennsylvania right now. And right now it is indeed a battle. It was 17-7 at the half in favor of Wyomissing. North Schuylkill scored a touchdown by Jaden Libby from 4 yards, makes it 17-14. And right now we go to the 4th quarter. This is anyone's game. And it's Wyomissing driving. Here's Allman. Allman gets a block in front by Nadrowski, and that gives him an extra 6 yards. How about number 59? Just barreling through people and making some space.
And we've seen this play over and over today for the Wyomissing offense, but as you say exactly, Nadrowski just drives his defender into the ground to free up Allman for some extra yards, and that gets some excitement going on the Wyomissing sideline.
Man, just like that, the ball is down to 18-yard line. A picture-perfect afternoon here in Wyomissing for this matchup. And the ball at the 18. Nadrowski stays in the backfield with Hurlman. It goes to Nadrowski. Gets down to about the 15-yard line.
Evan Nadrowski for a yard or 2.
So I'd be willing to bet if the Wyomissing offense, they're going to keep it safe while they're down here. Keep the ball in the hands of Hurlman, Nadrowski, Tranquillo. Maybe allow Allman to roll out, look for a pass. If not, let them cut up for a drive. Don't think we'll see much play action out of the offense deep in the territory.
So pick up a 3, 2nd down and 7. Hurlman goes down. It looked like he slipped up before the tackle was played by Elsden.
You said it, Al. It looked like as he was trying to cut and get vertical up the field, just lost his footing in the turf. They've had a lot. Wyomissing's offense had a lot of success with Allman running the ball off that rollout. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring that back here, using Nadrowski and Tranquillo as lead blockers on the outside, as well as number 74, Rashard Williams.
There he goes, rolls, has Nadrowski in front for the block, and just pushes forward. And he's going to be short, I believe, the first down. He actually looks like he's coming up slow. Actually, he's back up. He's okay. Again, Zach Zekman was lost in the first quarter of the first game. That was their quarterback. And I think Jordan Allman has done a tremendous job to be pushed in there as your quarterback. So 4th and a yard. I'm going to guess who's going to get this. Is it too easy to guess?
No, I think you're correct.
I mean, everyone knows he's going to get it. do you fake it, or do you just give it to him anyway?
I think you just give it to him, and what you're going to see here is going to be Hurlman on a lead block.
4th and 1.
I don't think
they gave him a good spot.
I think they did.
Evan Nydrowski, the ball carrier on 4th down.
Again, it's all in the spot where they put it, but it looked like they gave him a pretty good spot to move the chains. We'll wait. Official call. First down. So Nydrowski, again, everyone in this place knows he's getting it. And sometimes when you know you're getting it, you do something different. But he hasn't done anything but get 2-3 yards, 3-4 yards every time, so why not?
Exactly. So why not just continue to ride that? Now you're inside the 10. So I think you're going to see a lot of the same things. Either you're going to get Tranquillo on a sweep, Hurlman on a sweep with a Nydrowski as a lead blocker, or Allman on his rollout, or you're going to get Nydrowski up the middle.
So 1st and goal from the 8. And they'll give it to Nydrowski, and Nydrowski fumbles the football and the touchdown. Not sure it's going to be Nydrowski or it's going to be Evan Busak.
I think it's going to be Nydrowski because he was reaching forward as he came down on the ground. The ball comes out, so credit Nydrowski with the touchdown.
So Nydrowski comes up with the 8-yard touchdown. Again, falling on it was Evan Busak, in case it wasn't there. And this becomes a crucial extra point. That one is up, and that one is good. So at 9:59 left in the 4th quarter, Wyomissing comes up with a huge touchdown. 8-yard touchdown run by Evan Nydrowski.
Take a look at that drive. It's set up by every athlete that Wyomissing has in their offense. You have Nydrowski running the ball. You have Max Hurlman doing his thing. You have Tranquillo doing his thing. And then you also have Allman running on those sweeps, the called rollouts, which turn into sweeps for him. They're utilizing just a handful of plays, but they're so good at executing them, it's so hard to defend them.
So Wyomissing back up to a 10-point advantage.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the offensive line.
We
talk about all those athletes and all the different things they were doing with them. And I don't know if anybody's paying attention or seeing this, but Wyomissing, they're moving linemen around all the time, every single play. You never see the linemen setting up in the same position a play after a play. They're moving the guards to tackle, tackles to tight ends, unbalanced. They're switching them in and out. Nydrowski going in at fullback, coming back to the line. They're doing so many different things, and to be smart enough to know every assignment that they need to, you have to credit the offensive line on that drive as well.
You're absolutely right. When you move Nydrowski out and you put him in the backfield, other people are coming in to be in the mix. This one will be picked up at the 1-yard line by Danny Grigas. And Grigas will get up across the 15 to about the 17-yard line. Let's see where they spot this one. And a good job by Grigas to actually get some positive yards out of that. You don't want to be pinned in.
Exactly. I was starting to think he almost had a lane to run through, because usually you see on those deep kicks where the ball's on the ground, you usually see some holes open up to allow them to get through, but credit Wyomissing's kick coverage team closing in and getting the tackle.
(24-14). Still 10 minutes to play in this contest. So there's a long way to go. Again, last drive by North Schuylkill led to a touchdown. Time is be a big factor. Looking to throw. And that one just hangs up there and incomplete. It was Jake Hall out of the backfield looking to throw that one towards Dylan Dietz.
And I think if Hall's able to get a better ball off, I think he had Dietz behind Thompson in the coverage.
Yeah, I think he just never handled the ball well, and I also think he had a little more time to throw it when he took the handoff. 40's back in there in Elsden. Elsden had a big run earlier. He'll block here in front for Chawanski. Chawanski will dive through, across the 30 up towards the 33-yard line.
Tackled by Max Hurlman.
North Schuylkill player, slow getting up, is John Harhigh. He looks like he's okay. Actually, he's still limping here. Third down and a long 4. As we inch closer to the 9-minute mark here in the 4th. Looking to throw, and that one's incomplete. A little too low on the toss play, trying to get that one across the deeps.
And it just looked like the ball came out of Libby's hands weird. It's just the point of the ball was pointed down, and you could see the ball just nosedive off his hand.
Awaits that punt.
So 4th and 4 from the 23. They'll punt from about their 10. So this could get a roll. Hurlman will field it right at the 40, and we'll go out of bounds. So with 8:49 on the clock, the 10-point lead and the football for Wyomissing.
At the 45-yard line, Wyomissing area takes
we always talk about, you know, a key drive, a key play here or there. I think this drive here for both teams sets up the winner of this game. I think if Wyomissing's able to chew off a lot of clock and get some points out of this, that's going to bode well for them. But I think if North Schuylkill can get an early stop, that'll bring that momentum back to them and get their energy going to possibly run down the field for a potential score.
Boys are bringing it.
So this becomes your drive of the game, as Wyomissing can really put this game away or at least milk some clock. Nadrowski on the first play. Talking to Coach earlier this week, I said, what do you think? He goes, well, he loves it, but we are going to feel that he's doing such a good job that he's got the physique to be in the backfield as a fullback and can get the job done for us.
Oh, and you can see it right there. I mean, he, you know, on any team, you look at a guy like that, high school team, he may be an offensive lineman. He could very well be a fullback. It's just fortunate for Wyomissing that they're able to have enough linemen able to get in there and do the job where they can utilize him at fullback.
From the 48. Again on the ground.
Nadrowski again, this time across midfield into North Schuylkill.
And again, a lot from number 59 right now. And you mentioned before, down by 10, depending on what happens on this drive. You need those 3 whenever you can get them, and then you need the 7. So, you know, while you look at the clock.
7:48-yard line, it'll be a third down.
You know, first things first, you got to get the football back.
Correct.
With no extra points on the scoreboard. Big play here, 3rd down and 3. Ball at North Schuylkill's 48. And Hurlman is going to come up short. Tripped up on a play. And a good job. One of the guys in there for Jake Hall.
Short of the first down.
It's an interesting call.
And we just saw in the 3rd quarter, North Schuylkill at this position with 4th and short. They punted it away. It looks like we're going to see Wyomissing's punt team come on the field. But
Nadrowski just looked over to the sideline and said, but I could get this.
and he has all day. But now here's the thing, though. Do you have to be worried about a Wyomissing fake?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Because Nadrowski's one of the upbacks.
So 4th and 1 from the 46. And no fake there, and it's a booming punt. And it's fielded and drilled. So as quick as Stankiewicz picked it up, he got popped on the play by Hurlman.
And you look at that Wyomissing star player playing on special teams. Not only just doing it offensively, playing defense, but also playing special teams and coming up with a key tackle on that kick return.
So with 6:45 on the clock, ball at the 12-yard line. If you're just joining us here on D11sports.com, game of the week presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. It was 17-7 at the half, 17-14 after 3. Wyomissing added a touchdown to make it 24-14, and now North Schuylkill with 6:41 on the clock, trying to inch closer in this one.
2nd down 10.
That's going to be one Libby will want back. He had his receiver, number 13, Josh Stankiewicz, on the out-breaking route at the first down by the sideline. He just overthrew him and rushed it a little bit.
Looking to throw and connects as Hall And Hall will move the chains for a first down.
I think early on for the Wyomissing defense, that's fine. Yes, they gave up the first down, but play back. Just don't get beat deep. Make them work their way down the field. The longer it takes, the less chance they have of scoring 10 points.
Exactly.
23-yard line.
Rock should be running.
Going far side, and the catch is made. And staying inbounds right around the 30-yard line.
And we have a flag on the near sideline.
Well, this game has not come with our shortage of flags. Well, this is against North Schuylkill.
Now they call a false start, but I think what they're going to get is a legal formation where they didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Well, either way, they're pushed back inside their own 20-yard line. And you mentioned before, the clock is a factor.
The game moves them back 5 yards, presents a second down.
Yes!
Hall gains those yards back.
Pass complete to Hall.
And again, that's for Wyomissing, you're defensively, that's fine. Now they're at 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, and the clock's running. You'll give up that underneath stuff as long as you secure the tackle.
Matt, do you have to go for it here, 3rd and 4th down with 6 minutes on the clock?
I think the way Wyomissing just ran that offensive drive, I think you kind of have to.
And they just float that one out. And tripped up is Chawanski right around the 30-yard line. And Chawanski is slow getting up. Stop the clock here at 5:38. It'll be a 4th down and about 3.
To the North Schuylkill 30. Give an official's timeout.
And Max Hurlman, what else can you say about him? What he's been able to do this game? Just a complete player. Great open field tackle on a very talented running back in Chawanski. Bring him down short of the first down. He's all over the place, doing everything for this team.
No doubt. So 3rd down and 4, or maybe even 3rd down and 3.5. Let's see where they spot this one. But obviously, taking a look at Chawanski right now, that's what they're doing on the far sideline, as he got hit at the end of that play. So 24-14 is your score.
And I think, as we talked about, you were going to see the North Schuylkill offense come back out on the field. And even for Wyomissing, if you go out defensively, you put it out there. If North Schuylkill runs the short routes, you're okay giving up the first down. You're okay with the ball being caught in front of you as long as you make the tackle.
North Schuylkill presented with a 4th down and 4.
Well, you hear the crowd get really loud right here. 4th down and 4 from the 30-yard line, 5:38 on the clock. Game on the line here on this play. Can they keep the drive going? Here comes the pressure. There's a nice pass across and a lot of space. There's a flag on the play as making his way downfield is Josh Chawanski and goes out of bounds. But
looks like we're going to get a holding on North Schuylkill on the outside. And obviously the North Schuylkill sideline's not happy about that, but when they come back and look at that, I think they're going to see it was a good call by the officials.
And they just got that off as the pressure came. And Libby just got that out. However, that all said, on the far sideline, still out, is Chawanski.
The holding penalty is marched off from the point of infraction. It's a 10-yarder. Moves the football inside the North Schuylkill 30 to the 29.
So it goes from a 4th down and 4 to a 4th down and 5.
And Wyomissing for defensively, you're thinking, hey, that's great. Even though they have the ball back, you just ran more time off the clock.
No doubt. Libby rolls and try to do the same play, or is he? He's going to try to fight for this one, try to get to the outside, makes the turn and keeps it alive, gets the first down and stops the clock. Great job by Jake Libby.
He picks up a North Schuylkill first down.
We mentioned in the beginning of the opening about Jaden Libby and his ability to run the ball. That time looking downfield, but doesn't see anybody open up that he felt comfortable with, but he gets the first down. But again, running a lot of time off the clock, but fortunate for North Schuylkill, Libby able to get out of bounds.
I said Jake Libby. How about Jaden Libby? So the ball at the 40. 5:16 on the clock. Libby to throw, gets popped as he throws it. That's a short reception made to Elsden.
Regardless of the outcome of this game, North Schuylkill has to go back to the week and look at their pass protection. Jaden Libby is getting hit on pretty much every pass play he drops back for, and they can't afford to have him hit that much throughout the season.
Just going to flare this one far side, and it's taken there by Chawanski. And the ball gets popped down. Again, those short passes, right now, clock becomes a factor. And
he's hit by Tommy Grabowski.
Yeah, at some point, you have to think this North Schuylkill offense is going to have to go deep and at least take a shot down the field, take a chance.
So 3rd down and 7, the ball at the 43. And how about number 11, Darren Bruner?
Sack pushes the football back to North Schuylkill 41.
Here we go, D! We need it!
Now you hear the Wyomissing crowd get back in this game as the defense is getting a big stand.
Looking to throw again, hit as he throws, and that one is incomplete. So Wyomissing will get the football back here with 3:36 on the clock.
First down and 10. The North Schuylkill 41, 3 minutes, 36 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter.
And not sure, the play call for North Schuylkill, they put guys at the 1st down marker, but they just didn't give enough options for Libby to have to throw to. He kind of only had one receiver, and the coverage was pretty good by Wyomissing to force an errant throw, and that, as you said, Wyomissing takes over.
So 3:36 on the clock. And Allman. And there's a flag on the play.
And they're going to get North Schuylkill with a 5-yard face mask. No gain on the run from Allman, but again, nothing. You don't need to really gain many yards here. Just keep it, stay in bounds and let the clock run.
Against North Schuylkill. Remain first down. First and
So
5,
3 minutes, 20 seconds and counting.
Schuylkill,
Taking all the time in the world. And driving through, and Drowski. And that extra extension may have given him the 1st down. No, it does not. That'll stop him short. And a timeout here by North Schuylkill. So North Schuylkill trying to use these timeouts to at least see if they can create a turnover. And
as you mentioned there, Nadrowski reaching that ball out to try to get the 1st down. And Coach Wolfram's going in the huddle right now and telling him, you don't need to do that. You don't need to risk having the ball knocked out. Just hold on to the ball. Take the yards you're getting. We're in 2nd and short. We're fine. Don't try to do any more than what you have to, and just keep moving the sticks.
So 2:59 on the clock. It'll be a 2nd down coming up. Glad you could join us here for the D11Sports.com Game of the Week, presented by St. Luke's Sports Medicine. We'll have Saucon Valley and Salisbury on Thursday. Actually, the next 2 weeks will be on Thursday games, Lehighton and Panther Valley. And then we get into the East Penn Conference part of our schedule.
And 2 teams next week, both 2-1. Saucon Valley beating Palmerton last night. with a big win for them and Coach Trembler, and then also Salisbury winning in overtime versus Wilson, and a big win for Coach Circo and his offense.
On the ground they go. Tranquillo gets popped. And again, that's short of the first down.
Tries the left side. He's tackled by Hall and Dietz.
Our Schuylkill player is shaken up.
Chawanski.
I believe that was Stephen Davis. That goes down. North Schuylkill, obviously a team that Notre Dame Green Pond from the Colonial League familiar with. They beat them in the district championship after Notre Dame and Phil Stanbaugh had their number, a couple years in a row. Speaking of the Colonial League, wow, some interesting contests last night. Northwestern gets a big win over Palisades, but I think the biggest one that a lot of people were talking about was Southern Lehigh putting up 62 points against Notre Dame in a victory.
I think you're right. I think that was the one people were looking at to be one of these teams is going to come out of this looking as the clear-cut favorite to win the Colonial League, and it looked like just Southern Lehigh was able to do what they wanted to do offensively versus Notre Dame, but then also on top of that defensively to hold that Notre Dame offense to as few points as they did. You have to credit Coach Toman and his staff.
Third down, Wyomissing area. It's a short 3.
The ball to the 34-yard line. Drowski will dive forward. Well, that's where they stopped him, where his knee dropped. Yeah, they don't have this.
Stygowski up the middle.
So North Schuylkill takes the timeout here.
First down by about a yard. Timeout North Schuylkill.
I think you might get a measurement here from the officials because this is really close.
Yeah, the near side official gave a better spot than the far side official.
Correct.
I mean, Coach Hall's on the far side saying, you gave a good spot, but the guy over there didn't. I think they may have this from the spot that they got.
I don't know what the delay is getting them on the field.
Here they go. Well, there's been so many penalties. They're not used to moving those chains a different way. Been going up and down the field, and they're not coming across.
So about a yard. Did not look that way from our vantage point.
Martin short of that first down.
Again, with 2:16 on the clock.
So you said it last time. I'm going to say it this time. Who do you think's getting the ball?
Brent Augian.
I still think Nadrowski's going to get it again.
Didn't catch you earlier. Sorry about that, buddy.
I think that's a good guess.
Yeah, I think he has not been stopped. He's averaged 3 yards a carry, right?
Yes.
And Wyomissing not afraid to take time here coming out because the clock is running.
I'd be willing to say if they get this first down, that's going to be the game.
There's Nadrowski and the push forward. Ooh, I'm not so sure.
Be close.
So the clock will stop at 1:54, and I still think this is on the spot, but it didn't look like he got it. But again, our near side official has it closer than the far side.
So they're going to mark it where they're going to bring the ball to where the spot is, and I think you have to, as your officials, bring these chains in.
This guy never moved his foot. He had it down. So they had to get just inside that 31-yard line.
All right, if Wyomissing has this first down, it's going to be by just about an inch or 2 inches of the ball.
So 24-14, the ball sits at the 31 or the 30.5 for the first down. It's really game here or not game.
Just short.
So just misses by those 2 inches, and they don't get it by 2 inches. So North Schuylkill still has some life here with the ball sitting at the 31-yard line. Now, if you're Wally Hall, what do you have in your playbook here to gain your 10 points?
You have to go quickly. You can't go back to what you did last drive and just look for those short routes. You have to move the ball down the field quickly and get it out in space to your guys. But then on the flip side of that, the Wyomissing defense has played in space very well today and not giving up any kind of open room for any North Schuylkill offensive players.
(24-14), $1:54 on the clock from the 31. Livey rolls, looking to throw, and that one is complete. And the clock will continue to move at 1:46 and counting.
Pass is complete. That was number 44, Cody Shell.
You get a good chance to look at North Schuylkill's hurry-up offense in this last part of the quarter.
Livey going to go again far side, and that bounces off the hands.
Pass incomplete, intended for Shell. Previous play, gain of 7. 2nd and 3. Now it's 3rd down 3. North Schuylkill, 1 minute 30
So
seconds.
$1:30, clock stops. They try to work the sidelines.
And it looked like Cody Shell from North Schuylkill just took his eyes off the ball before he went to get out of bounds.
And that one incomplete as that goes through the hands of Jake Hall, and just like that, it's 4th quarter.
Jake Hall, 4th down.
So North Schuylkill has a choice here. Offensively, they can either decide, let's just go for the 1st down so we can keep the ball and keep continuing our drive, because you know Wyomissing is probably going to sit back and give them space, or you try to force the ball down the field. I mean, you have 1:27 left. You don't have a lot of time to play around, and you're inside your own 40.
4th down and 3. Here comes the pressure, and there goes the game. Wyomissing with a Malachi crunch at the end. One of the guys in there was Stephen Alexi. And Wyomissing, unless something dramatic happens here in a $1:22, be able to take a couple of snaps and end this one.
And North Schuylkill has 1 timeout left that they can utilize, but I think all Wyomissing has to do is they can just take a knee and end this game.
38-yard line. Actually, 37-yard line.
Picked up there and taken, and going to close the gap inside the 5-yard line is Max Hurlman. Max Hurlman's been everywhere on the field today.
He has, and credit this last play that he's probably going to see today. He comes up, looks like he had a little bit of a cramp. I'd be interested to see if they take him out of the game. Looks like they will not, but I think at this point, it's knees and you're done.
The 5 at the 4. Going to be 1st and goal for the North Schuylkill 4.
Again, Wyomissing team that lost their quarterback in Zach Zeckman. Allman's done a great job with a couple touchdown passes in the early going of this one. And Max Hurlman has really ignited this team, but, you know, Petrowski doing a good job as well. Delay game here. What do they call it?
Well, Wyomissing got the timeout in before the delay of game. Regardless, that delay of game would have been non-existent. It wouldn't have mattered.
Exactly. No, Matt, we expected a good contest. Obviously, the opening kickoff, you get that fumble, kind of gets you a little bit out of the mix a little bit, but North Schuylkill had plenty of time to adjust. They came out in the second quarter, out of the second half. They scored a touchdown, cut into the lead. But right now, 24-14, you know, Wyomissing, again, unless something absolutely dramatic happens, is going to pull out a W here, and a big one here in the first couple weeks of the season.
Correct. And, you know, you take that away, that opening kickoff away, the fumble, and Wyomissing able to capitalize on that turnover. Other than that, North Schuylkill had opportunities. They just weren't able to finish drives. And I think that's something Coach Hall will go back to this week at practice and work on them getting ready as they go through the rest of their season. They have a long season left, 7 more games. They're a good football team. They're going to be in the playoffs. They just need to stay healthy and fix some of these mistakes today and learn how to finish some drives. And I think you're going to see a lot of things out of them.
So the ball sits on the 4-yard line. Allman going to roll, and Allman is going to go in for the touchdown.
And it's, again, just that quarterback sweep. They're looking to roll him out, put a lot of lead blockers in front of him. And it looked like he was just trying to waste time, not really going for anything. And able to cut up and find a lane into the end zone.
Kramer holds it. Ian Brunner snaps it. Seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Wyomissing area 31, North Schuylkill 14.
So they extend the lead to 31-14. Happy fans here, without doubt. And Wyomissing next week will be back at home. They'll get Blue Mountain and West York the next couple weeks at home. And North Schuylkill will be at Schuylkill Haven, and then Mount Carmel and Jim Thorpe and Tamaqua. They'll play on the road one more week and then have 3 at home.
And this one will be a long ride home for North Schuylkill, but again, you can't look at the score and make that, have that be indicative of how the game went, because the game was much closer than that. You had the one turnover that Wyomissing capitalized into points early in the first half. You take that away, you clean that up, you're able to finish some drives. North Schuylkill has a lot to build on, and I think they just need to focus on that moving forward.
So 1:05 on the clock. We'll get the kickoff here. And close this one out from Wyomissing. From the 15. Picked up there by Danny Grigas. And now Grigas rotates to the far side of the field, still on his feet. And then gets taken down right around the 29, 30-yard line.
On the return for North Schuylkill. First Wyomissing area tackler, number 60, sophomore Julian DeMeo.
Looks like Wyomissing does not want to concede anything, so they're putting their starting defense back out on the field with 56 seconds left. Still an opportunity for North Schuylkill to come out and work their 2-minute offense as they have 56 seconds left in this game to try to move the ball down the field.
Leiby gets flushed out of the pocket and stays on his feet. And now gets driven down by Isaiah Fernandez.
Quarterback Leiby was scrambling. First pressure there by Darren Brunner, then brought down by Isaiah Fernandez. Jack Feitner.
Defensively for Wyomissing, not only Max Hurlman making a lot of open field tackles, but number 11, Darren Brunner, from his defensive end spot, getting a lot of pressure on Leiby in the pass game.
Likely the last play, and that one is completed to Dylan Dietz. But with that, it'll be the home crowd and the home fans and the blue and white. They'll be celebrating here.
Gain of a few yards, 3rd down, 11.
As the clock winds down, 31-14 is your final score. Wyomissing will celebrate with a huge victory at home as they win this one by 17. Again, 31-14 is your final score in favor of the Wyomissing Spartans over North Schuylkill. We'll come back from Wyomissing and get our interview of the player of the game and wrap this one up. Final score once again, 31-14. Back after this with your D11sports.com Game of the Week presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine.
St. Luke's Orthopedic Care. Extraordinary care in motion.
Concussions are serious. 3 million sport, recreation, and auto accident-related concussions happen each year. 20% of high school athletes who play contact sports will suffer a concussion during the season. St. Luke's is the region's leader in assessing, managing, and treating concussions in athletes and non-athletes of all ages. Our multi-specialty teams of experts collaborate to care for you using the latest treatment options. Don't play head games. Take concussion seriously. Call St. Luke's to schedule an appointment with one of our concussion experts.
(31-14) your final score as we welcome you back here to Wyomissing High School. Wyomissing gets the big victory over North Schuylkill in this one. And obviously, we said a matchup of two heavyweights, two teams that came in here with high expectations, two teams that still have those high expectations. This is the biggest game that they're going to play in this early part of the season. Gets them ready for the rest of the season, gets them ready really for the postseason, down the road. But when you get two teams in the top of 5, 6, 7 in the state of Pennsylvania meeting up, 3 weeks in, that's monstrous. And this time it was the blue and white that got the finish.
It was, and like I said earlier, you look at the 31-14, the 17-point margin of victory for Wyomissing. I don't think the game was indicative of that 17-point margin. I think North Schuylkill played solid. They played tough. Wyomissing took advantage of some breaks that they had, some turnovers that they were able to capitalize on. And North Schuylkill just needs to look at, how can we come back and how can we finish some drives. I think if they do that, offensively it becomes a little bit tighter of a game, a little bit different of a game. But you have to credit Coach Wolfram and the Wyomissing team. It's just their execution and the way. I know I mentioned about their penalties and how he can't be happy with the number of penalties they have, but the way they were to come back from that and able to just execute and continue to move forward, he has to be happy with his team.
And that said, with the big victory there for Coach Hall, you get right back into action next week. What does he have to do to regroup? Again, you're probably not going to get as strong as this team the rest of the way, but at the same time, you're coming off a loss, and after putting up 55 points the week before, so.
I think what you look at, Coach Hall, I think he has to come back and see, okay, what is my team made of now? We just faced a quality team. We faced a quality opponent, top 10 in the state. Now, how are we going to respond? And I think he's challenging his team right now in the huddle with that. Guys, hats off to Wyomissing. They're a quality football program, but we're a good football program as well. And I think we need to see how you're going to react to this. How are you going to learn from this experience, and how are we going to move forward? And then his senior leadership. We talked about Libby. We talked about Elsden. We talked about White. How are they going to come back and regroup this team and get them to move forward and then take the next step? Because they're a quality team. They're going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to go far.
Yeah. You look at losses, and you're North Schuylkill. You say, oh well, this was a loss, but at the same time, it's a loss. I never say it's a good loss because you guys are coaches. You say good loss. No coaches like to hear that. But at the same time, you get a feel of where your team is, and in 7 weeks where your team could be. But you know that the ultimate goal, what you want, a league championship, a district championship, it's all still there waiting for you.
Absolutely, it definitely is for Coach Hall and the Spartans in North Schuylkill. As a coach, I would always look at the season in quarters. You had your preseason and your first couple weeks as the first quarter. He's ending up that first quarter right now. They're getting ready for the second quarter of their season. And then how are they going to finish? Like you said, where are they going to be in week 10 That's going to be indicative of this game, I think, how they're able to move forward from this game into Week 10 and then future weeks into the playoffs, because they're going to use this as a building block moving forward.
And I agree with you. You go into these games and you're wondering who's going to be the team to beat. And, when it comes to league play and district play, and we went out of conference play, we went state play, this early on in the season. So, we're excited to bring it to you at D11sports.com, presented by St. Luke Sports Medicine. And, with it, we always, get our players ready, and we have our D11sports.com, player of the game. And right now, down in the field, we have our player of the game with Brendan Alvino.
Hey guys, it's Brendan Alvino from the sideline again, and we are here with Wyomissing running back Max Hurlman. Now, Max, you had a great game. You had a rushing touchdown that kind of split the score apart in the second half. So just tell me, what does this game mean to you in such a big environment and just this early in the season?
Well, I actually didn't have a touchdown in the second half. That was somebody else. But, this game means so much to us. We really proved that we can play with anyone in the state. This was really a big test for us, and we're just happy to come out of the win. It was a great team effort all around.
Yeah. So, once again, great game. This is our D11sports.com player of the game.
Max, congratulations. You're a D11 Sports player of the game.
Thank you very much.
Wyomissing gets a big win here today against North Schuylkill.
All right, 31-14. Max Hurlman said he didn't have the touchdown, but you and I have talked about him before, what he did. He was doing it on both sides of the football, well deserving of the player of the game.
Absolutely. When you watch this film, if you go back and see this again, just keep your eyes on number 5. And I think college recruiters are going to look at his effort. Everybody talks about the cliche, it doesn't take talent to hustle. He's all over the field. He's offense, defense, punt coverage team. He's doing everything for his team. He's trying to be a leader, strong leader for this team, and I think Coach Wolfram sees that, and they're going to rely on that later in the season. Yeah,
getting looks in the Patriot League for him, and we can't say anything, about their quarterback. He did a great job as well. Two throwing touchdowns, and also had a rushing touchdown. Allman was magnificent today as well.
He was, and I think that's something that Coach Wolfram and the offense can build on. They didn't want to give them too much last week. They won in overtime against Pottsville. Now they come back here. They give him a little bit more. And I think you're going to see as the season goes on, they feel a little bit more comfortable with him. They're going to give him more and more that he can do, a little bit more freedom. And I think they're going to utilize his athleticism that he has and let him carry the ball a little bit more.
All right, final score once again. This one, 31-14 is your final. We think Brendan Alvino did a good job there on the sidelines. Dave Micah always doing a good job. We give him credit when credit's due, and everyone here getting this game on. And again, we had some glitches there, but we got you the second half and a big game. 31-14, your final score once again. We'll be back at it with Salisbury and Saucon Valley on a Thursday night with Thursday Night Football. For Matt Evancho and everyone here, I'm Al DeCarlo saying so long. Final score once again, 31-14, your final. We'll see you down the road.
Where your fitness matters. Regardless of what shape you're in, St. Luke's Fitness and Sports Performance Centers have a